Good day, grade 8 students. I hope you're all doing well. Due to some unforeseen circumstances, we won't be able to meet for a face-to-face session for this lesson. However, that doesn't mean our learning stopped. Instead, we will proceed to have this kind of video to allow you to go through this lesson at your own pace. Before we proceed, just make sure to read the materials given to you and complete the assigned task. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Now, to begin this lesson, if you can still remember, let's have just first a quick recap. Throughout your learning journey, you've developed essential skills that allow you to make sense of different pieces of information. If you can still remember a topic from primary and secondary sources, you'd able to understand how to distinguish first-hand accounts from interpretations. In outlining, you've also managed to distinguish how to organize different pieces of information that contribute to a bigger picture. If you have learned how, you also learned how to draw connections between various information, right? And from those skills and lessons you have learned in those topics can actually helpful when it comes to our new lesson for today. All right. The importance of identifying key ideas. Remember in outlining how you organize pieces of information, recognizing relationship between text and presenting information in a well-structured manner. Now let's put the skills into practice and take our learnings a step further. Now the focus of our lesson for today is all about synthesis. Now what is a synthesis? A synthesis is a process of gathering information from different sources, reviewing their ability in writing them down to come up with a desired result. Now, synthesis is not just gathering information. That is part of it. Well, we will gather from from different sources and use those information to create a new idea or a deeper idea. Now, the prefix syn in synthesis means together. Hence, synthesizing is a process of pulling together different ideas to come up with new bigger idea. Now, in order for you to visualize the meaning of synthesizing in the process of how can we synthesize an information, I have here a formula. As you can see, we have source number 1 idea plus source number 2 idea, then you add your own ideas will lead you to come up a synthesized idea. So, ma'am, how can you do that? Your source idea or source number 1 and 2 idea is actually from credible information, meaning the things that you have learned in primary and secondary source, you can actually employ those skills that you have learned in that lesson in order for us to know how we can get information from credible sources. Now, after you gather information from 2 sources, class, always remember, in synthesizing, we're not just focusing in one source information, but we need we need information from 2 sources. Then you add your own interpretation from those information that you have gathered in order for you to create a synthesized idea. Next. Now, to synthesize class, you must also know how to first summarize, paraphrase, analyze, and infer or the inference. Now, let's get to know more about summarizing. Now, to effectively synthesize information, summarizing means we're making a long text into short, meaning we're condensing a long text by focusing only on the key points and expressing them in a shorter form in your own words. The purpose of summarizing, it helps readers to understand the main idea quickly without unnecessary details. I have here an example. First, the original text. Original text tackles about dengue as a mosquito-borne disease caused by the Aedes aegypti mosquito. It causes high fever, headaches, muscle pain, and skin rashes. Preventing dengue involves cleaning surroundings and removing stagnant water. Now, let's go back again. Summarizing is a process where we're condensing long text by focusing only on the key points and expressing them in a shorter form using our own word. Now, to summarize this original text that we have, we can get dengue is a disease from mosquito bites that causes fever, pain, and pain. Cleaning surrounding helps prevent it. Now, as you can see, in original text, we have the full details about dengue, its symptoms and prevention are given. In summarized text, we only have the core idea, while the extra details about it is omitted or we removed it. We're just presenting the key points of the original text. Next, paraphrase or paraphrasing. In paraphrase, we're restating information from source material in your own words. Now, paraphrasing involves rewriting, rewording a text in your own words while keeping the same meaning, and approximately sometimes we keep the same length. In summarizing, we make long text in a shorter version of it, while in paraphrasing, we still in some at some point we still have the length of the original text, but we rewording and rewriting the text in our own perspective or our own words. The same with our original text, which is all about dengue. To paraphrase those information we can get, dengue spreads through mosquitoes and causes fever, pain, and rashes. Keeping the environment clean can stop its spread. Now, as you can see, we still keep all of the details, but expresses them in a new way without losing information. We still have those, even the unnecessary, in paraphrasing, we still keep all of the, we can, we still keep all of the information that we can think unnecessary, but the development of the original text, the development of idea in the original text is still the same when we paraphrase it. It's just that we're just rewriting and rewording the text itself. Next, let's have analyze. Analyze to break complex topic into smaller parts. Now, analyzing means we're breaking down a topic into smaller parts to better understand its cause, effect, and relationship. The purpose of analyzing is to help in critical thinking by focusing on key components and their impact. Like, for example, with still the same text about dengue. Now, to analyze that text, we can get dengue happens in unclean places with stagnant water. Cleaning up reduces mosquito breeding and disease spread. Now, from this example, the text is broken into cause, and the cause in that text, unclean places with stagnant water. And we also present an effect of it, wherein mosquito breeding and disease spread, that focus on understanding the problem deeply rather than just stating facts. Okay? Now, let's move on with inference or infer. Infer to use observation and background to reach a logical conclusion. Now, inferring means we're making a logical conclusion based on the given information and background knowledge. The purpose of inference, it helps the readers go beyond what is directly stated and understand the implications. Right, just like here, in our example, still about the dengue. In order for us to infer the information in the original text, we can get if people can clean their surroundings, there will be fewer mosquitoes, which can lower dengue cases. In this example, in the original text, the passage describes dengue's cause, symptoms, and prevention. Now, to infer the text doesn't directly say that cleaner surroundings will reduce dengue cases. But the given information, we logically conclude that fewer mosquitoes mean fewer cases. Sometimes, class, here in inference, we are now applying our own analysis, our own perspective based on the information that we have gathered. Okay? Now, bringing that all together, when synthesizing, we summarize to extract key ideas, paraphrase to integrate information smoothly, and analyze to make meaningful connection, and lastly, infer to generate deeper insights. Mastering these skills ensures that our synthesis is not just a collection of ideas, but a well-structured and insightful discussion. Alright, now, remember, class, in synthesizing, as what I have stated a while ago, we have this formula. We can follow this formula in order for us to properly synthesize an information. We can first we get our source number one idea plus our source number two idea plus your own word that will lead you to have its synthesized idea. But if that part is still confusing and you still and you still have this kind of problem how you can properly synthesize an information, you can follow this. We're just getting the main idea or the ideas that you needed. Since it is also important that we avoid plagiarism. Okay, but ma'am, question: can I copy directly the text but put citation? Yes, you can do that. You can actually copy it, but don't forget to put citation. Remember our lesson about citation, the um, where we include the last name of the author and comma, and then the year that it was published. Okay, you can still do that, but remember, after the in-text citation, you have to provide the bibliography. And that is kind of a long process for you to go through. Next, E for edit notes and put together similar concept. Now, editing your notes, it is a process now how you can use the ideas that you gather from those sources, which is from two sources, and then now you are implementing and employing your own understanding and your own perspective from those information. And S, synthesize by combining notes with what you already know about the topic in order for you to have a proper synthesized information. Now, if rest method is still confusing, mom, it's still confusing. How can we properly synthesize an information? If the formula of synthesizing still didn't help you to how to properly synthesize, and the rest method still confusing, and how can you really start a synthesis? We have here steps on synthesizing. First, you organize your sources. On this part, after collecting the relevant information that you need to organize your notes in a way that allows you to see the relationship between sources. You can get relevant information from the following sources. What are those sources? We have primary and secondary. One way to begin synthesizing the information is to put your notes into a table. When we say into a table, you're not literally doing it, but you were gathering information and you were identifying your main ideas that you can use in synthesizing. Because, of course, by searching information or from getting sources, that is a broad information and that is a lot of information. Now, you just need to get the idea that you did, okay? And you have to distinguish what are the connection. And here's the catch, class. Remember that your source number one and source number two should has a connection. Okay. Now, step two: outline your structure. Now, with a clear overview of the main connections and differences between the sources you have read or you have gathered, you need to decide now how will you group them together and in order in which you will discuss them. Now, you should have a clear overview of the main connections and differences between the sources you have read or you have gathered. Next, you need to decide how will you group them together in order for you to, which you will discuss them. Remember, in outlining, we have a proper outline, right? The alphanumeric outline wherein we can distinguish all of the kinds of information that we have. Now, here, in synthesizing, after you gather all of the information, you have to outline it in order for you to distinguish the relationship of the information. Because in third step, you will now write paragraphs with topic sentence. Now, remember, our lesson in the part about paragraphs or parts of a paragraph, the hamburger method. It is really important to have a topic sentence because topic sentence is your controlling idea in order to guide your readers. Now, you should have a clear overview of your main connections and differences between the source you have gathered or you have read. Next, you need to decide that you have to group them together in order for you to discuss them. But wait, now in step three, you have to write paragraphs with topic sentence. And what sets a synthesis apart from a summary is that it combines various sources. The easiest way to think about this is that each paragraph should discuss a few different sources to condense the overall point of a paragraph into one sentence. That is why we need to have, or we need to create a topic sentence. Controlling idea when it comes to your synthesized information. Of course, last step is to revise, edit, and proofread. Like any other piece of academic writing, synthesizing information involves redrafting, revising, editing, and proofreading. If you can still remember your topic from your previous year in grade 7, this is actually part of your lesson, how to revise, edit, and proofread, or redrafting, editing, and proofreading, something like that. Now, to ensure, I have here an example of unsynthesized versus synthesized. First, we have this information from our source number 1, which is from the newsinfo.inquiry.net. According to the Department of Health, or DOH, there has been a concerning rise in dengue cases in 9 areas across Central Luzon, Calabarzon, and Metro Manila. Now, in order for us to get idea from our source number 1, we are not just copying the whole text. Rather, we have this version of this source idea in our synthesized version. According to the Department of Health, which is DOH, there's a significant increase of dengue cases in multiple area in Central Luzon. Now, notice class, we're not copying directly the text, but we employ this kind of summarizing, paraphrasing, wherein we just jotting down the idea from our source number 1. Next, since synthesize needs two sources, or two ideas, or two information from two sources, now for source number 2, we have here the Philippine Star reports that following Quezon City's declaration of the dengue outbreak, the DOH indicated that 8 more local government units are likely to declare outbreaks due to the increasing cases. Now, having this source number 2 idea, let's just get the underlined information. Okay, we don't need to copy the whole text in that source, but just get the few idea that you needed in your synthesized version. Wherein, in order for us to connect our source number 1 idea and number 2 idea, we use the word including. Okay, now we have our synthesized version. According to the Department of Health, or DOH, there's a significant increase of dengue cases in multiple areas in Central Luzon, including Quezon City's declaration of outbreak. Now, ma'am, is that my whole synthesized version of information? Not yet. Because remember our formula, you have first the information in your source number 1, the idea in your source number 2, and of course, your own idea in order for us to call it a synthesis. Now, after you read all of the ideas that you have gathered, analyze it and put your own perspective from those information. In this example, we have dengue is now prevalent even though it's not yet a rainy season. Gets? And that's how you synthesize information. Of course, in synthesizing information, in order for us to assure the development of ideas in our paragraph, we can use this following word in quoting a source: asserts, portrays, conveys, highlights, suggests, explains, illustrate, argues, or claims. Now, if you want to show agreement, you can use the following: similarly, equally, or likewise. And now to show this agreement, in the because remember a while ago we have discussed the steps in synthesizing, right? And it is really important for us to create a topic sentence, because again, our topic sentence contains our main idea, and our main idea is our controlling idea of how can we introduce what is the focus in that specific paragraph. Second, you can answer this question: did I discuss more than one source in the paragraph? Because in synthesis, again, we need two sources, two information or ideas from two sources, not just one source of information. Next, did I mention only the most relevant findings rather than describing every part of the studies? Because it is really important that you just focus in one idea. Just focus on the findings, evidence. You don't need to discuss any further, but just focus in one main idea that you can focus on in synthesizing or in creating a paragraph. Now, lastly, did I discuss the similarities or differences between the sources rather than summarizing each source in turn? Remember, in developing your idea in synthesis, you provide your information from two sources, then your own idea from those information. That is not just your point of view, your voice, your part where you can present your own idea. Rather, that is the part that you can discuss any further. In order for your reader to really understand why did you get those information, why did you get those ideas from those sources, what is your purpose for that. Okay, all right. Now, to wrap it up, let's answer this question: where and when do you think synthesizing can be useful? Again, synthesizing is a valuable skill that you can apply in various academic or professional and even everyday life situations. It helps you make sense of multiple sources of information, form a well-rounded perspective, and create a new insights. Okay? All right. Now let's have this quotation for this topic. Synthesis is the art of weaving different ideas into a single powerful understanding. So that's it for this lesson. I hope you learned something. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening.